Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining the Run Your Day podcast once again today. Today is Friday. I'm going to have a real upbeat and exciting show for you today, so stay tuned. I'm really excited about this one. Today's topic is continuously stretch. My name is Dan Hafner. Thank you very much for joining. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Run Your Day podcast, where our goal is to expand your focus and perspective on life. This is your daily dose of motivation, mindfulness, and so much more. And now, here to help you take your day back, your host, Dan Hafner.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Welcome to the show. Today, we're going to talk about continuously stretching. So today is Friday. It's the Friday before Labor Day, actually, and got a long weekend coming up here. For those of you that have to work Monday, I'm sorry, but pretty excited for it. We're going up to right outside of Erie, Pennsylvania. Actually, I'm a co-best man in my best friend's wedding, so looking forward to that. Should be a good time. Going to be a really fun weekend, and it's the culmination of quite a journey of this summer as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. So inside of this final topic of our week, finding your power, is this topic I chose of continuously stretch. So continuously stretching. Stretching yourself in terms of your capabilities, in terms of your skills. What you are today can be more tomorrow. What you are, 6 months from now, it will be a way better version of you than what you are today, what you are a year from now. But the thing is that you can't get to a different plateau inside of your life or a different peak that you're searching for without stretching outside of your comfort zone. Right? It's completely impossible to become something more by staying exactly what you are. That is impossible. Albert Einstein said that, a man's capacity to solve a problem is impossible at the same level of thinking that originally created the problem. So, if you create a problem or a situation or an outcome that you want to achieve that is bigger than what your container of life is, or your container of capabilities is, it is literally impossible for you to achieve what you're trying to achieve unless you make that container bigger, unless you make your mind bigger. You expand what is possible for you inside of that. So this is where it comes in, where stretching comes in, pushing yourself to be more constantly. I always call this comfort zone the danger zone. Like it's comfortable there, right? It's comfortable. You're satisfied. You're not being pushed. You're not being hunted by anything, and it's easy to get complacent. It's very easy to get complacent. You're just like, rest on your laurels. Everything's going to be fine. I got it made pretty well. I have a pretty good job. I have enough money. I'm in a decent shape. I have a decent enough relationship. Like, that you're selling yourself short. So how do you get to that point where you can push? You can become the hunter again. It takes dedication. It takes grit. Like, you can't be complacent. You have to continually stretch yourself beyond what you're currently capable of today, this week, this month, in order to grow. And growing is difficult. Growing hurts. Like when you're growing up as a kid, you would always get these, at least I did, I got these strange, pains in my legs and things like that. And my mom would always tell me that it was growing pains. Now, I'm not a doctor. I don't know the science behind all of that. But I think that there's something to be said about growing pains. Like it sucks sometimes. It's hard and you want to quit. Every day you could be like, I just want to quit. This is stupid. I don't want to do this. it's making me too stressed out or too tired or just not wanting to do this anymore. And I get it. That's a sign that you're doing the right things. That's a sign that you're on the right path. If you're in a position where you're not growing, where you're not being stressed, where you're not comfortable, that's when you know you're making progress. That's a clear sign that you're doing something right. Even if you're failing, even if you're doing something wrong, you're doing something right. Why? Because you are being a part of a small percentage of people that are willing to do things that they are uncomfortable doing, that are willing to push themselves beyond what society says they can achieve or they can do. There's not that many people out there that do this. It really isn't. You might think you do it, but I can almost guarantee you that you don't push yourself to the level that you know in your heart that you are capable of. I mean, I don't. I know that I don't. I will be completely 100% honest. There are very few times when I can look back at something and say, you know what? I went as hard as I possibly could at whatever I did. Like we always, that's a natural human tendency to hold things back, to be in survival mode for things. You don't want to go super 100% all in on something because you're holding something back for a possibility of the future of preserving something, right? And that stifles growth. It does. And it's hard to see because you don't see yourself doing it. Like I don't see myself doing it. I know that if I wanted to, I could put way more time and effort into this podcast, even just to use as an example, than I currently do. I could sit here for longer than the 10 minutes a day I already do. I could sit here for a half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and pour my soul into this podcast every day. I mean, the reality is I simply don't have time to do that. But in the 10 minutes that I talk on this show, you know, I am trying to light a fire, not only inside of myself, but inside of you, to get that ability, to get that fire inside of you to stretch, to push, to progress. What are the facts of your current reality today? In order to reach a new reality tomorrow, what do you have to do? What obstacles do you have to overcome in order to reach that reality? That is how you stretch. That is how you expand. You knock down those dominoes in your way that are standing between you as of today and the you that you want to be tomorrow. It's impossible for the things that you want to achieve. The person that you are today will not be able to achieve the things that the person you are 6 months from now will be able to achieve. You have to almost become a new person. You have to become a new person with new skill sets, new mindsets, and new capabilities. That is growth. That is life. And if you're not growing, you're shrinking and you're dying. There's no like life is binary. There's no in between. You know, I've been in a period of my life where I had been shrinking for a very long time, and I chose to stop that. I choose consciously every day to expand, to push harder and harder and harder, because I know that the second I stop pushing, I'm going to fall back down the mountain. I'm going to fall back down to where I started, and I don't want to go back there again. You have to tell yourself you refuse to go back to that place. So just don't quit. If you're tired of starting over, just don't quit. Stop stopping. Just keep going. You can do it. Like you can do it. And I'm here to cheer you on or to support you or whatever you need. So think about this today. What are the facts of your life today? Where would you want to see progress inside of those? How do you expand and become something more in order to achieve those? If your goals don't scare you a little bit, they're not big enough. If they don't scare you a little bit, they're simply not big enough. So think about that today. That's my mission for you today. What do you want your new reality and your new world to look like, even 3 months from now? And how can you get there? So that's going to wrap up today's show. Thank you very much for joining inside of this week of Finding Your Power. I really hope that all of these shows really helped you see yourself in a different perspective and maybe even see your life in a little bit of a different perspective. You are a powerful person, whether you think so or not. You have a power that you can access inside of you that just needs to be, it's already there. It just needs to be accessed and activated inside of you. And it's hard. It's tough. I get it. But if you believe in yourself, you can do it. You can definitely do it. So take that thought into this weekend. I hope everyone has a very enjoyable and safe Labor Day weekend, and we will be back with you next week. Until then, thank you very much again for joining the Run Your Day podcast. If you continue to like this show, please support us on Anchor. There's a little support this podcast button. We'd really, really appreciate any donations. And until next week, we will we'll talk to you next time. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Run Your Day podcast. We hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, feel free to share today's show with friends and family. Until next time, have a great day.